What is up, guys? I'm your friendly neighborhood Web-Warrior Fanatic, and we have a rules update here, more like an errata here to Wonder Man's Ionic Physiology. And yeah, this is from Alex Werner, the Fantasy Flight Games rules specialist, and they have officially confirmed that, even if you have full health as Wonder Man, you can still trigger his Ionic Physiology to tuck a card under it, even if you're not able to heal. And yeah, this is the current, new update that they have here. It goes kind of against the old rules, but they're gonna replace, the cost error on the card with the word then. So let me go and just give you guys some context here on the card. So this has been kind of going on a little bit in the community here with Wonder Man, the new hero. He has his identity-specific upgrade here called Ionic Physiology, and it's an upgrade that's permanent, so it starts off the game in play. And it says max 3 cards tucked here. As a response, after you play an event with the printed energy resource, you can tuck that event. So if you play like this event right here, you can tuck this event from your discard pile underneath the Ionic Physiology, and you can heal 1 damage from your identity. So this actually made me feel like Wonder Man was kind of clunky, and I wasn't like the biggest fan of Wonder Man because of this. Because first, it says max 3 cards tucked here. So if you already have 3 cards tucked here, you cannot trigger this ability to heal unless you get rid of all those tuck cards, because you cannot have 4 tuck cards. You can't just tuck another one and then like discard one of the older ones. You have to like somehow get rid of a tuck card here to tuck another one in there. And the other thing that I didn't like about Wonder Man is that because of the cost error here, and we can go to the rules reference right here under cost. It says that an ability's cost cannot be paid if that ability's effect requires one or more targets and there is not at least one valid target. So basically what this means is that for Wonder Man, for the Ionic Physiology, heal 1 damage from your identity is, has to be the target of this ability. And if you're at full hit points, 12 out of 12 hit points, then it's not a valid target to heal 1 damage from your identity. So that makes your identity not a valid target. So because of that, if you're at full health, the way that this card is written, you cannot trigger the cost of the effect, right? Because it says here, an ability's cost cannot be paid, if the ability's effect requires one or more targets and there's not at least one valid target. So the cost is everything before the cost arrow. So the cost is to, after you play an event with the printed energy, you can tuck the event from your discard pile. That's a part of the cost. And you cannot even trigger initiate the ability because even though you can pay for the cost, you don't have a valid target for it. So you actually are not allowed to pay for this cost, and you're not allowed to trigger the ability when Wonder Man is at full life. So that's how the card was currently ruled, and it has changed now because now it says, this is huge shouts to U10 Luck from Reddit. It says they messaged, Fantasy Flight Games, and they received this email here in regards to Wonder Man's tucking. As written, Ionic Physiology would not allow Wonder Man to tuck an event if he's unable to heal. This limits him in a way that was not intended, so it will need an update. So yeah, basically just going through what I explained just now with how this works with the rules reference guide 1.7. And then it says here that Ionic Physiology's cost arrow should instead be replaced with the word then. So it should say tuck that event from discard pile under this card, period, then heal 1 damage from your identity. So basically, instead of having this cost arrow right there, it should say then heal 1 damage from your identity. And with that wording, you do not have to do the part before or after the effect, right? So this will allow him to tuck a card even if he's at full health, while also maintain that he doesn't heal when triggering the ability unless he tucks a card first. This erratum will be included in our next rules reference update. So, it is official here because, we did get a confirmation here. So you guys can officially start playing Wonder Man, with, this errata, but we'll get in like a more official one, like, in text during the next rules of reference update. So for anyone like me that has been feeling like Wonder Man is, kind of clunky, well, that's solved now because even if you're at full life, you can still trigger the ability and tuck cards on the Ionic Physiology because a lot of its effects work off of that, right? Like Wonder Man gets +1 attack for each card tucked under here. He also has ways to grab a card, from under there, like with his sunglasses here, right? So you can add a tuck card from Ionic Physiology to your hand. So now you're able to like, have more freedom in when and where you're tucking, even if you're at full life. So you can, add those cards to your hand or get +1 attack with Wonder Man, which is pretty nice. So yeah, this is a huge buff to Wonder Man. Makes him like half less clunky as before, right? Because the main reason why I thought he was clunky was because of the max 3 tuck cards, but also if you're full life, you can't tuck. Now, you still have the restriction of where if you have the 3 tuck cards here, you aren't able to tuck an additional card, but at least if you're at full health, you're able to tuck a card. And I do think that this is very good news, all around. I did build this deck right here to make me like Wonder Man, even though I thought he was clunky. This deck right here kind of works around that, right? Like I think Clarity of Purpose is like the really big card for him in leadership because you can exhaust it, do 1 damage to attach character, you attach it to Wonder Man to generate a wall resource. So this can give you the damage that you need so that, before with the older rules where you can't be at full life, well, Clarity of Purpose will damage Wonder Man so that you're not at full life and then generate a wall resource on top of that that you can spend for anything, which is really nice. So if you use this, for example, take a damage, generate a wall resource, use that resource to like play a card like his Starstruck, which is his 1 cost event, right? So if you do that, you can now immediately tuck the Starstruck because there's a printed energy resource right here underneath the Ionic Physiology and heal that 1 damage back. And you get that tuck card if you want to recycle it and grab the Starstruck back with like his sunglasses or something like that, right? So that was like, I thought that was really cool. I thought it was really cool to, find a way to play him despite his restrictions, but not needed anymore, guys. We don't need to do that anymore because now they've changed it. I mean, it is good news. Kind of makes me feel like, I felt he was clunky, but I didn't need to because it wasn't actually intended for him to feel that clunky because, they say here it was not intended. It was just like how it was written with the current rules. So, yeah, for everyone that has, because I know a lot of people have been commenting too and telling me how they have been feeling kind of clunky with Wonder Man not being able to trigger that ability when it's at full life. And there's been some like back and forth, like some controversy in terms of like, is he allowed to do it or not? The rules aren't super clear. I know on my live streams, we like took like, I don't know, maybe like a 10, 20 minute, 30 minute break, just like discussing it and figuring out, how the rules work with that. And we ended up with the conclusion that you're not allowed to do it. And, it is confirmed that, with how it's worded, it is not allowed, but they are going to allow it. So very nice that Wonder Man can now officially tuck cards, even if he's at full life. And yeah, this is just going to be a super short video here, just updating you guys about that. So let me know down in the comments, how do you guys feel about that? Are you guys more happy? Are you more excited about Wonder Man being able to do that? I definitely am. I feel like that opens a lot more other decks for him because really I was just honed in on this deck that I built here with the free energy with a bunch of energy resource events here, like 20 events here. But now I feel like there's a lot more other ways to play him, even outside leadership, because he doesn't have that clunkiness. He can immediately start tucking cards on turn 1, right? Because the way that it was worded, he normally can't tuck any cards on turn 1 because he's at full life. He needs to take some damage first or find ways to take damage, like with the Clarity of Purpose. But now, with the errata, he can do, whatever he wants. He can tuck immediately on turn 1, playing those, events with the printed energy resource icon. So Wonder Man definitely got a buff here. And yeah, he's definitely going to be a lot better with that. Just a lot more flexibility when playing. And you guys know me, I think flexibility is everything in Mario Champions. So having, more versatility and flexibility, I think definitely helps him out. So yeah, just short video here, guys. I hope you guys all like this one, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.